Hey guys, it's your boy Nami Rubber Bands back with another video, and today I'm doing what if Luffy was Obelisk the Tormentor's reincarnation. So I hope y'all guys enjoy. And on the day I'm recording this is Thanksgiving, so I wish y'all a happy Thanksgiving. And let's get into the what if. So the story starts off like this: with Dragon Garp is in the room with Luffy's mom, but unfortunately she didn't make it as the nurse hands the baby to Dragon, aka Luffy. As Dragon's looking at Luffy, he's like, huh, this is interesting. He says in his head, my son has red eyes. As the doctor's like, we found something very interesting about your son. As his eyebrows raises up, he's like, what is it? As the nurse turns the baby around and she says, look, this birthmark is weird. It's a crested moon. I never seen any birthmark like that before. It's a perfect crested moon. Interesting. That's quite the birthmark he got there. As Dragon is like, yeah, he's just shocked, Says, honestly, I don't know where the red eyes come from. Because me and his mother don't have red eyes. As they like, yeah, it's probably a birth defect. It's very rare, but sometimes kids come out with different color eyes than their parents. As Dragon's like, really? But red is drastic. I never heard of it. Oh, your son is very special, says the nurse. But, you know, we always gotta have a good thing. As, they're like, well, we sorry for your loss. But look, your son is very special. As he's like, yeah, you're right about that. As Garp comes in the room, he's like, so she didn't make it, huh? Yeah, she didn't. But we did have a beautiful baby. Look at your grandson, Garp. As he's like, let me look at the kid, as he grabs Luffy up and starts to hold him. As Luffy plays with Garp's finger, as he's like, quite the adorable baby we got here. As he's like, well, son, I need to have a serious talk. So, how are you going to proceed on with this? Or you going to take him with you? Or do you want me to raise him up as a Marine? As Dragon says, no, I'm taking my son with me. I can't lose him. I can't lose his mother, then lose my son. I can't let that happen. As he's like, right then. Only letting this side because it's my grandson. Please teach him the right way. As Dragon nods as he takes Luffy's back from Garp. As Garp is like, well, I gotta head off back to headquarters. I wish we can see eye to eye, but you're still my son, and I ain't gonna let anything change that. As he's like, thanks, Dad. As they go their separate ways. As we do a 10-year time skip where um Luffy finally gets to start training, and his training measurement is insane. I'm talking about he trains underneath waterfalls. He does 1,000 push-ups every day, 4 times a day, um, each hour. Like he goes like 4 times an hour. He goes to do 1,000 push-ups. His training regimen is absurd. Okay, as he's like, oh, finally I'm done. As he's like, oh, I'm about to barf. Ugh. As he starts to throw up in the lake. As Koala comes up beside him, she's like, huh, another hard training day. He's like, yeah, this training regimen's ridiculous. Why do I have to do this? Well, if you want to hang with us, kid, you have to be strong, right? Says Koala. And she's like, come on, kiddo, let's get you washed up. And he's like, okay, sis. In this story, like, he sees Koala as his big sister in this story. So, she helps him wash up and she scrubs his hair and she's helping him wash up as she noticed Luffy's birthmark on his back. She's like, interesting. You have a weird looking birthmark. It's a crescent moon. As Luffy's like, yeah, everybody talks about that. I was born like with that. It's a weird birthmark, I know. She's like, it's really like a crusted moon. Interesting, you know? As like you can feel, it's like she could feel some type of weird energy coming off from it. And she's like, okay, that's a little weird. But she's like, let's get dressed up now. As they both head up to get dressed. And they get dressed as Luffy's like, well, I'm gonna get some dinner. You wanna join me, Koala? And she's like, yeah, I see why not. As Luffy eats away, he still has a big appetite, but it's not as insane as before. Like not like in canon. Like he don't eat that much. But he still eats a lot than a normal person can consume. As he eats, she's like, dang kid, you eat all of that? Oh, I'll never let food go to waste, says Luffy. As she smiles, as she's like, all right, it's time to head to bed now. As he's like, okay, sis, as you know, they have the servants, well, not servants, but the people that clean the cafeteria up, because it's a big facility. Keep in mind, this is an organization, so they clean the mess up. As Luffy heads to Koala room, and he gets in the bed as she cuddles him as she tells him a story, and he falls asleep in her arms. And we cut. Matter of fact, we're gonna do another time skip because I know y'all want to hear the nitty gritty. Anyway, so let's say another 7 years go by. Luffy's 17 now, and Dragon is like, huh, my son growing into a nice young man. And she's like, thanks, Dad. Couldn't be who I am without you to this day, and I appreciate it. Now I see why you trained me so hard. And she's like, good son. As he said, well, your final lesson is to match me in a Conqueror's hockey clash, right? As he's like, certainly. As Luffy jumps off the balcony and walks in front of his dad, and they jump 10 feet from each other. He's like, I'm ready whenever you're ready, Luffy. As Luffy activates his Conqueror's hockey, Suzu Dragon as they clash, as you can see the walls in the room start to crack. The facility is shaking. And like, y'all need to stop. Y'all destroying a place. As something weird happens with Luffy, where his eyes glow a purple color, as it absolutely counters Dragon's Conqueror's hockey. It like shuts it down. As Dragon falls on one knee, as he's like, "What the hell? How did this happen?" As Luffy snaps out of it and passes out. What the hell was that? As Dragon spits out blood out his mouth. That was intense. I never felt hockey that strong. As he's like, help my son up. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. As Koala's like, you sure, Dragon? As everybody, Ivankov is there too. Like, are you okay, Dragon? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just check my son. As he gets up on his feet, as Luffy passes out, as we cut into a mindscape. As Luffy wakes up a few hours after the Conqueror's hockey clash, and he's like, what happened? Oh, my head hurts. As he looks down to his hands, and he screams in horror because one of his left hand turns blue. And he's like, what is this? What you mean, what is this? As he looks to his left, and his room is dark, and there's an entity in the left corner. He's like, who are you? Silly question. I'm you, says the figure. As Luffy's like, show yourself. Fine, but I warn you, you might see something you wish you never saw before. As it comes out the shadows, as it's a 30-foot being, tall being, in his corner as Luffy eyes is popped out his socket. He's like, how the hell does something like that get in here? Shut up, stupid. I'm in your mind. Nobody else know I'm here. Reality is, you're actually knocked out. You're just in a state of mind. Anyway, kid, the name is Obelisk the Tormentor. I'm the strongest monster that ever existed, besides my brothers. As Luffy's like, strongest monster? But what does that have to do with me? You're my reincarnation, kid. As Luffy is shocked by that revelation, as he's like, wait, so you're telling me I'm you? Exactly. But the thing is, I have no control over your body, but I can guide you the right way so you can use my powers to its full potential. So, as Luffy's like, is that so? Why would a monster help a human? You're under the silly superstition that every monster hates humans, right? As Luffy nods his head. He's like, well, I actually quite fond of humans. I think they're cool. The thing is, sometimes it's not even human fault to think we're monsters because truly, there are some true monsters that terrorize people for the heck of it and eat them. Me, on the other hand, I think people are awesome and they're very good to have around. As that shocks Luffy. He's like, huh, how do I know this is not something a part of my crazy imagination? Like, I don't believe this is even real. Is that so? Alright then, kid. Remember what happened earlier today when that man, I guess your dad, tried to challenge me in a clash of brute force? Well, guess what happened? He got knocked out. As he's like, wait, what? No way, my dad would never get knocked out like that. Oh, yeah. That's what they all say. And his eyes raises and he's like, what you mean by that statement? Anyway, kid, let's not get off track. Anyway, the point is, you're my reincarnation. And I'm going to teach you how to use my powers. As he's like, all right, fine then. Don't take over my body, says Luffy. That's only terms I agree with. Fine, I won't possess you unless it's absolutely needed. Unless you're about to die. That's the only time I'll step in. Is that cool with you? Because if you die, I die, says Obelisk the Tormentor. As he's like, fine, I agree to those terms. As good. As he's like, wake up now. As Luffy wakes up. This is real, right? As he pinches himself and he's like, yeah, I'm awake now. What the hell? As he looks in the palm of his hands as a purple shadow fades away. So this is real. As Luffy heads downstairs to get some water. As Koala's like, you're finally awake, Luffy. Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I just got passed out. What exactly happened earlier today? I don't even remember when me and Dad was doing a Conqueror's hockey clash, and I just blacked out. Did my dad knock me out by chance? As Koala face turns a little pale, she's like, no, Luffy, you kind of knocked your dad out, and you just passed out just because of the strain of the hockey. As he's like, oh, so this shit is real. He says in his head, did anything weird happen? Says Luffy. She's like, yeah, your eyes kind of grew purple. I never seen such things before. Oh, okay. Thank you, Koala. I'm just gonna head back to sleep. She's like, good night, Luffy. Good night, Koala. Says Luffy. As we do a week time skip. Now, Luffy is relevant to, let's say, he's he can fight a warlord toe to toe at this point, and sometimes can overpower depending what warlord it is. So that just give you like a power sense of how strong Luffy is in this one. right now. So we cut into Dragon's office as Dragon is like, oh, man, this guy's a real pain in the ass. He's making things hard for us. As Luffy's like, who is that? Erlong, the Fishman Pirates. He has an iron grip on the East Blue. It's quite annoying. He's enslaving people there for no reason. I don't know why he's doing this, but somebody needs to get rid of him. AKA you, Luffy. As Luffy looks at Dragon like, really, Dad? You gonna send me to go fight a shark fishman? It's like, yeah, it's perfect practice for you. Get the sense of the world, kid. I wanna see how far you came along. You think you could do this mission by yourself? As Luffy's like, man, what's his bounty? As Dragon throws him the bounty on Erlong's head. Bounty 100 million. Fishman pirate Erlong. Wanted dead. I don't even say alive. They want him dead. Interesting. No dead and alive on this one? Nah, he's too much of a menace for the Marines to handle right now. So they probably just want him to be put down. So, alright then. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get his bounty. It's only 100 million berries. Come on now. That one even made me break a sweat. As Koala was about to say something, but Dragon looks at Koala as Koala reads the room. She's like, "Oh, you wanna test Luffy, huh?" As she just backs off, she's like, "Never mind, Luffy." He's like, "That was weird, sis. You sure you don't want to say what you want to say?" She's like, "Nah, I'm good. Go ahead, bro." She's like, "All right." Oh yeah, no. To give y'all the age, how old is Koala? She's 24. Luffy's 17. So yeah. Anyway, he's like, whatever. That was weird. Well, I'm about to go head out. Let me take care of this so-called having an iron fist over the East Blue. I mean, it's the weakest sea anyway. I don't see how. I see why now he can do this. As Dragon's like, really? It's like, sorry, Dad. I just kind of monologue. Sorry, Dad. Yeah, kid. Now go. As Luffy heads out. As he heads out, he's like, I think that should be it. I don't need nothing else. Oh yeah, before you leave, Luffy, catch this. As Luffy grabs what Dragon's throwing towards him, as he's like, what the heck is in here? Open it up and see. As Luffy opens up a case and he looks inside of it and he's like, holy crap, these things are badass. Are these gauntlets? As Dragon's like, yeah, they're specially made for you. So to give you an example of what they look like, okay, y'all see Obelisk the Tormentor in the background? Essentially, those gauntlets, like you know how you see like the gauntlets on Obelisk, that's what he has as weapons with the razor sharp blade on it. Yeah, it looks just like the image does in the background, and they're blue, and that's what they look like. They're badass as shit. As it helps Luffy to punch even harder than normally he would. And his normal punch is already crazy. So imagine stacking that with those punches. And he could put Conqueror's Hockey on them. He can coat them on Conquerors. So Luffy's like, holy shit, these things are badass. I can't wait to use them, Dad. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Ivankov, Koala, we out. As they wave goodbye to him as he sets out to sea. And guys, to be honest, I think I'm gonna end it off here. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Do y'all want a part two? Let me know in the comment section below. Because honestly, I'm just gonna do part two probably later tonight. I'm kind of tired, so just let me know if y'all want part two. Other than that, it's been your boy Nami Rubber Bands. I'm out. Peace.